The desert wind howled outside the marble mansion. Sand scratched against the towering windows. Dubai's skyline glittered in the distance. Inside, Khalil al-Mansuri sipped bitter coffee. His dark eyes burned with rage. The maid, Noor, shuffled past him. Her face was plain, almost repulsive. Scars crisscrossed her cheeks like a map. Khalil smirked, a cruel plan forming. He would marry her for revenge. His ex-wife, Laila, had humiliated him. She flaunted her lover on social media. Khalil's pride demanded retribution. Marrying Noor would disgrace Laila's beauty. The city buzzed with gossip already. Noor dropped a plate, shattering it. Her hands trembled under Khalil's gaze. She mumbled apologies in broken Arabic. Khalil stood, his shadow looming large. He proposed to her that night. Noor's eyes widened in disbelief. The mansion's chandeliers flickered above them. Her voice cracked, accepting his offer. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. Khalil ignored the unease in his gut. The wedding was set for next week. Dubai's elite whispered in scandalized tones. Noor moved into the guest wing. Her footsteps echoed on polished floors. Khalil watched her every move. She avoided mirrors, always looking down. Her scarf hid most of her face. The air smelled of oud and secrets. Khalil's plan felt perfect, yet hollow. Noor's eyes held a strange glint. He brushed it off his nerves. The wedding day arrived too quickly. Camels stood outside, draped in gold. Guests arrived in sleek black cars. The desert sun scorched the earth. Noor wore a simple white dress. Her veil barely hid her scars. Khalil's smile was cold, calculated. Vows were exchanged under a canopy. The crowd murmured, shocked and intrigued. Noor's hand felt clammy in his. Her pulse raced beneath his fingers. Something stirred in Khalil's chest. Doubt crept in like a shadow. The reception glittered with excess. Crystal glasses clinked in toasts. Noor sat silently beside him. Her eyes darted to the exits. Khalil noticed his jaw tightening. He leaned close, whispering a warning. She nodded, her face unreadable. The night dragged on, tense and heavy. Guests left, leaving only silence. Khalil led Noor to their suite. The room smelled of jasmine and fear. Velvet curtains swayed in the breeze. Noor stood by the window. Rigid, Khalil poured himself a drink. His reflection looked older, strained. He turned, studying his new bride. Her scarf slipped, revealing more scars. They snaked down her neck, grotesque. Khalil's stomach twisted in disgust. He stepped closer, curiosity rising. Noor flinched, clutching her veil. Her breathing quickened, almost panicked. Khalil demanded she remove the scarf. She hesitated, eyes wide with terror. The room felt suffocating, too small. Her hands shook, untying the fabric. Scars covered her throat, jagged and raw. Khalil froze, his breath catching. One scar looked fresh, barely healed. It curved like a deliberate mark. His mind raced with questions. Noor's gaze met his, defiant now. She whispered something he could not hear. The words sounded foreign, ancient. Khalil's skin prickled with unease. He demanded to know her secret. Noor's lips curled into a smile. The air grew colder, unnaturally so. A faint hum filled the room. It came from her, from within. Khalil stepped back, heart pounding. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. He blinked, sure he imagined it. The hum grew louder, almost deafening. Noor's smile widened, unnervingly calm. She stepped toward him, unafraid. Khalil's glass slipped, shattering on the floor. His voice failed him, stuck in his throat. Noor's scars seemed to pulse. They moved like living things. He stumbled, hitting the wall. The desert wind screamed outside. Noor's voice was steady, chilling. She spoke of vengeance, not his. Her words cut deeper than knives. Khalil's world tilted, reality fracturing. He had chosen her for revenge. Now, she was something else entirely. The room spun, shadows dancing wildly. Noor's hand reached for him. Her touch burned, impossibly cold. Khalil's vision blurred, then darkened. He collapsed, the world fading away. The mansion stood silent, unyielding. The desert swallowed all sound. Noor stood over him, watching. Her secret was only beginning. Khalil woke to the desert's eerie silence. His head throbbed with dull pain. The marble floor felt cold beneath him. Noor was gone, her scarf abandoned. Its fabric reeked of something metallic. He stood, legs unsteady, heart racing. The mansion's air was thick, oppressive. Chandeliers cast jagged shadows on walls. Khalil's pulse echoed in his ears. He called Noor's name, voice hollow. No answer came, only faint whispers. The sound slithered from the walls. He stumbled toward the grand staircase. Polished steps gleamed under dim lights. A strange hum lingered, barely audible. It pulsed like a heartbeat, unnatural. Khalil's skin crawled with dread. He descended, gripping the gold railing. The foyer smelled of dust and fear. Noor's shoes sat by the door. One was stained with dark spots. Khalil knelt, touching the dried liquid. His fingers came away red. Blood, fresh enough to smear. His stomach churned, bowel rising. He searched the mansion, room by room. Silk curtains swayed in the breeze. The desert wind howled outside, relentless. Noor's absence felt like a void. Khalil entered the kitchen, lights flickering. Knives gleamed on the counter, untouched. A faint scratch marked the marble. It formed a symbol, jagged and strange. He traced it, fingers trembling slightly. The mark burned under his touch. Memories of Noor's glowing eyes returned. Her scars had moved, impossibly alive. Khalil's breath hitched, mind spinning. He found her old room, door ajar. Inside, her belongings were neatly arranged. A cracked mirror reflected his fear. He saw something move behind him. Spinning, he faced only emptiness. The air grew heavier, almost suffocating. A notebook lay on her bed. Its pages were filled with cryptic symbols. They matched the kitchen's strange mark. Khalil's hands shook, flipping through pages. Words appeared, written in red ink. They spoke of betrayal, of vengeance. His name was scrawled, underlined twice. The room smelled of old blood. He dropped the notebook, backing away. Footsteps echoed from the hallway. They were slow, deliberate, not his. Khalil froze, listening to the rhythm. The sound stopped just outside the door. His throat tightened, mouth dry. He grabbed a brass candlestick, heavy. The door creaked, inching open slowly. A shadow stretched across the floor. It was too long, too thin. Khalil's grip tightened, knuckles white. No one entered, yet the air shifted. A whisper brushed his ear, unintelligible. He swung the candlestick, hitting nothing. The shadow vanished, leaving only silence. Khalil's heart pounded against his ribs. He ran to the main hall. The chandelier flickered, then went dark. Moonlight spilled through towering windows. It illuminated a figure in the corner. Noor stood there, watching him. Her scars glowed faintly, pulsating. She held a knife, blade gleaming. Khalil's voice caught, unable to speak. Noor's eyes were empty, unblinking. She stepped forward, bare feet silent. The air smelled of copper and dread. Khalil backed into a table. Glassware crashed, shattering on marble. Noor stopped, tilting her head. Her voice was low, almost inhuman. She spoke of secrets buried deep. Khalil's mind raced, piecing clues together. Her scars were not from accidents. They were carved, deliberate, ritualistic. He remembered the notebook symbols. They felt ancient, tied to something dark. Noor raised a knife, stepping closer. Khalil's legs refused to move. The desert wind screamed through cracks. Her smile was cold, unnervingly calm. She whispered his name, voice echoing. It came from everywhere, nowhere. Khalil's vision blurred, edges darkening. He stumbled, hitting the cold floor. Noor knelt beside him, knife steady. Her breath was hot against his face. She spoke of debts, of blood owed. Khalil's mind screamed for answers. Who was she, really, this maid? Her scars pulsed with faint light. The room spun, shadows twisting wildly. Khalil grabbed her wrist, desperate. Her skin burned, impossibly hot. She laughed, a sound like breaking glass. The knife dropped, clattering loudly. Noor stood, retreating into darkness. Khalil lay there, gasping for air. The mansion felt alive, watching him. He crawled to the notebook, trembling. Its pages now held new words. They described a murder not yet committed. His name was written in blood. The symbols glowed, faint but alive. Khalil's chest tightened, fear overwhelming. He heard footsteps again, distant now. They faded into the desert night. The mansion's silence was deafening. Khalil stood, clutching the notebook. He needed answers, needed truth. Noor was no ordinary maid. Her secret was darker than revenge. The desert wind carried her laughter. It echoed, chilling his very soul. Khalil knew he was not safe. Something ancient was waking here. Khalil clutched the notebook, its pages heavy. The desert wind battered the mansion's walls. Sand hissed against the glass windows. His heart pounded, loud as thunder. Noor's laughter still echoed in his mind. The symbols glowed faintly, pulsing alive. He stumbled through the darkened hall. Marble floors gleamed under moonlight's touch. The air smelled of blood and oud. Khalil's hands shook, gripping the pages. He needed to find Noor now. Her knife lay abandoned, blade stained. Footprints marked the floor, barely visible. They led toward the basement door. Khalil hesitated, dread coiling inside him. The door creaked, rusted hinges groaning. A damp, earthy scent wafted up. He descended, steps echoing in darkness. The basement was cold, unnaturally so. Bare bulbs flickered, casting jagged shadows. Noor's scarf hung on a pipe. Its fabric was torn, stained red. Khalil's breath caught, throat tightening. He heard a low, rhythmic chant. It came from deeper within the basement. The sound vibrated through his bones. He followed it, heart racing wildly. Walls were etched with familiar symbols. They pulsed, glowing like Noor's scars. Khalil's fingers traced one, burning hot. He yanked his hand back, gasping. A figure moved in the shadows. Noor stood there, eyes glowing faintly. Her scars writhed, alive and twisting. She held a small, ancient dagger. Its blade shimmered with eerie light. Khalil froze, notebook slipping slightly. Noor's voice was low, almost serpentine. She spoke of curses, of blood debts. Her words wrapped around him, suffocating. The air grew thick, heavy with malice. Khalil's legs trembled, refusing to move. Noor stepped closer, dagger raised high. He swung the notebook, hitting her arm. The dagger clattered, skidding across concrete. Noor lunged, her strength unnatural. Khalil stumbled, crashing into a wall. Dust fell, choking his lungs. She grabbed his throat, fingers burning. Her scars pulsed against his skin. He gasped, vision swimming in panic. The chant grew louder, filling the room. It came from nowhere, everywhere. Khalil kicked, breaking her grip. He scrambled toward the fallen dagger. His hand closed around its hilt. The metal felt alive, vibrating softly. Noor's eyes widened, fear flickering briefly. She hissed, retreating into the dark. Khalil ran, dagger in hand. The basement stairs seemed endless. His footsteps echoed, loud and frantic. He burst into the main hall. Chandeliers swayed, creaking in the wind. The mansion felt alive, breathing malice. Khalil locked the basement door. His hands shook, slick with sweat. The dagger symbols matched the notebooks. He opened it, pages now blank. Words reappeared, written in fresh ink. They described a ritual half complete. Khalil's name was carved in red. His stomach twisted, nausea rising fast. The desert outside roared, sand swirling. He heard Noor's voice, whispering again. It came from upstairs, his bedroom. Khalil gripped the dagger, climbing slowly. Each step creaked, betraying his presence. The air smelled of jasmine and decay. His bedroom door was slightly ajar. A faint glow seeped through a crack. He pushed it open, heart pounding. Noor stood by the window, waiting. Her scars glowed brighter than before. She turned, her smile cold, knowing. Khalil raised the dagger, hands trembling. Noor laughed, her voice echoing unnaturally. She spoke of power of ancient rites. Her scars are keys, she said. Keys to something older than time. Khalil's mind reeled, questions swirling. He demanded answers, voice breaking. Noor's eyes locked onto his. She stepped forward, fearless and calm. The dagger burned in Khalil's hand. He swung it, missing her narrowly. Noor moved faster, impossibly agile. She grabbed his wrist, twisting hard. Pain shot through his arm, blinding. The dagger fell, clattering on marble. Noor kicked it, sending it spinning. Khalil dove, desperation fueling him. His fingers closed around the hilt. Noor's foot slammed into his chest. He gasped, air fleeing his lungs. She knelt, her face inches away. Her breath was cold, like death. She whispered a vengeance, not hers. Khalil's vision blurred, edges darkening. The room spun, shadows clawing closer. He swung the dagger, grazing her arm. Noor hissed, blood dripping black. It smelled wrong, like burning oil. She retreated, clutching her wound. Khalil staggered to his feet. The mansion groaned, walls trembling slightly. He ran, dagger still in hand. The hallway stretched, impossibly long. Doors slammed shut as he passed. Noor's laughter followed, sharp and cruel. He reached the main door, locked. The key was gone, nowhere found. Khalil pounded the wood, shouting. The desert swallowed his cries. Noor's footsteps approached, slow and steady. He turned, dagger raised, ready. She stood at the staircase, watching. Her scars pulsed, brighter than ever. The air crackled with unseen energy. Khalil's heart raced, fear overwhelming. Noor spoke, her voice calm, final. The ritual was nearing its end. Khalil was part of it now. He backed away, mind fracturing. The dagger hummed, warm in his hand. Noor's eyes glowed, unblinking and human. She stepped closer, shadows trailing her. Khalil's world tilted, reality slipping. He was trapped, and she knew it. The mansion was her domain now. Khalil's hand trembled, clutching the dagger. Noor's glowing scars pulsed like heartbeats. The mansion's walls groaned, air thickening. Sand battered the windows, a relentless roar. Her eyes locked onto his, unyielding. The dagger's hum vibrated through him. Khalil's breath was shallow, ragged. Noor's voice slithered, cold and sharp. She spoke of a pact, eternal. Her scars were seals, not wounds. Khalil's mind reeled, reality fracturing. He lunged, dagger aimed at her. Noor sidestepped, swift as a shadow. The blade grazed the marble floor. Sparks flew, illuminating her twisted smile. The air smelled of sulfur, acrid. Khalil scrambled backward, heart pounding. Noor advanced, her movements unnaturally smooth. The chandelier flickered, casting wild shadows. He tripped, crashing into a table. Glass shattered, cutting his palm. Blood dripped, pooling on the floor. Noor's eyes followed the crimson trail. Her scars glowed brighter, almost blinding. She knelt, touching the blood lightly. Her fingers sizzled, steam rising faintly. Khalil's stomach churned, horror mounting. The dagger pulsed, burning his hand. He dropped it, pain overwhelming. Noor laughed, a sound like shattering ice. She picked up the dagger effortlessly. Its symbols glowed, matching her scars. Khalil crawled, desperation driving him. The main door was still locked. He pounded it, knuckles bleeding. The desert wind screamed, mocking him. Noor's footsteps echoed, slow and deliberate. She whispered his name, voice everywhere. Khalil turned, facing her again. Her face was different, impossibly familiar. Laila's features flickered beneath Noor's scars. His ex-wife's eyes stared through her. Khalil's breath stopped, world spinning. Nor was Laila or something else. The revelation hit like a storm. His revenge had been a trap. Noor's scars writhed, forming new patterns. They spelled a name, not hers. It was his, carved in light. Khalil's knees buckled, vision blurring. The mansion shook, walls cracking slightly. Dust fell, choking the stale air. Noor raised a dagger, chanting softly. Her words were ancient, guttural, alive. The floor vibrated, humming with power. Khalil's blood glowed where it spilled. It moved, drawn toward her feet. The symbols on the dagger flared. Noor's voice grew louder, commanding. She spoke of a ritual completed. Khalil was the final offering. His mind screamed, rejecting the truth. Laila's betrayal had been deeper. She had planned this. Somehow, Noor's scars were her vengeance. Khalil grabbed a broken glass shard. He slashed at her, missing narrowly. Noor's laughter filled the room. The air grew hotter, suffocatingly thick. Shadows twisted, forming grotesque shapes. They clawed at him, intangible yet real. Khalil ran, stumbling through the hall. Portraits on the walls watched him. Their eyes moved, following his panic. He reached the library, door ajar. Bookshelves loomed, smelling of old leather. A hidden panel clicked under his weight. The wall slid open, revealing a tunnel. Damp air rushed out, icy cold. Khalil hesitated, hearing Noor approach. Her chant echoed, closer now. He entered the tunnel, heart racing. The walls were rough, carved stone. Symbols glowed faintly, guiding his path. The dagger's hum lingered in memory. Khalil's footsteps splashed in shallow water. The tunnel smelled of rot, ancient. A faint light flickered far ahead. He moved toward it, hope fading. Noor's voice followed, soft but relentless. The tunnel opened into a chamber. Stone altars stood in a circle. Each bore symbols, etched in blood. Khalil's name was carved on one. His legs froze, terror gripping him. Noor peered, standing at the entrance. Her scars glowed, illuminating the chamber. The dagger floated before her now. It spun slowly, defying reality. Khalil's blood pulsed in his veins. He felt it drawn toward her. The air crackled, charged with energy. Noor's voice was calm, almost tender. She spoke of a curse fulfilled. Khalil was hers, bound forever. He screamed, voice lost in echoes. The altars hummed, vibrating the ground. Noor stepped closer, dagger hovering. Her scars pulsed in rhythmic patterns. Khalil's vision swam, edges darkening. He saw Laila's face again, clear. She had orchestrated this, all along. Noor was her vessel, her weapon. The dagger moved, slicing the air. Khalil ducked, rolling across stone. His hand found a loose rock. He threw it, striking Noor's shoulder. She staggered, the dagger wobbling. Khalil ran, back into the tunnel. The walls seemed to close in. Noor's chant grew louder, angrier. He emerged in the mansion's basement. The air was heavy, smelling of death. Khalil climbed the stairs, gasping. The main hall was silent now. The front door stood wide open. Sand poured in, covering the floor. Khalil ran outside, into the desert. The night was cold, stars piercing. Noor's laughter echoed from the mansion. He kept running, legs burning. The desert stretched, endless and cruel. Something moved in the shadows ahead. A figure stood, too far to see. Its eyes glowed, just like Noor's. Khalil stopped, heart sinking fast. The figure vanished, swallowed by darkness. New questions burned in his mind. Was Noor truly Laila, or worse? The dagger's power haunted him still. The ritual was complete, but how? Khalil's blood felt wrong, alive somehow. The desert wind carried her voice. It whispered promises of more horror. He was free, but not safe. The mansion loomed behind, watching him. Noor's secret was only beginning.